I am speaking to you now with a tenderness that wraps around your heart like warm light in a cold room, because I have watched what you endured when trust was broken and love was traded away for a shadow that never held substance. Hear me, for I have seen every quiet hour when you lay awake replaying words that were not true, wondering what was real and what was a mask. I saw the day you doubted your own goodness because someone else wore confidence like armor and lied with a steady voice. I have not forgotten you, and I have not forgotten what was done. I tell you today, do not be afraid of what is being revealed, because truth is coming like dawn, and no hand can hold the edges of night together when I decide to pull the horizon open. You felt the tremor before anyone else admitted the earthquake. Your spirit was already sensing what the tongue could not form. You knew there was something foul in the sweetness, something borrowed in the affection, something that didn't carry the scent of honesty when it brushed against you. You blamed yourself for noticing, but you were not wrong, and you were not unkind for seeing. They cultivated distance and named it freedom, they rehearsed a story and called it growth, they made your patience their stage and your love their currency. Do not think I was silent. I was storing every tear and counting every beat of your heart that kept loving long after your world was rearranged without your consent. I tell you, nothing you gave from a clean heart was wasted. I turn even betrayal into seed when you place it in my hands. The person who betrayed you told themselves that you would never know, and they made a home inside secrets that could not stand. They looked into mirrors and rehearsed innocence, they passed glances in rooms they claimed were empty, they spoke in codes and believed I could not read them. The other woman believed approval was possession and flattery was proof. They believed that what was taken would never be accounted for. But listen, there is a ledger in heaven where I record not your shame but your faithfulness, not their rumor but your truth. I am not here to humiliate you or to parade their fall, for I do not rejoice in the collapse of any soul. I am here to vindicate your heart and to say plainly, they are accused, not by gossip and not by rage, but by consequence and by the quiet testimony of every choice they thought had no witness. What is accused must answer, what is hidden must come to light, what is wrongly planted must be uprooted. This is happening now, whether they announce it or not. Do not run to the courtroom of public opinion in your mind. Come to me. I will teach you the difference between vengeance and justice, between proof and peace. I am the one who separates the tangle of motive and action, the one who knows what wound made a lie look like safety to them and what pride made your suffering invisible in their calculations. But listen carefully. Understanding the origin of someone's sin does not excuse its impact on your heart. I hold compassion for the broken and protection for the faithful at the same time. I call the guilty into truth and I call the wounded into rest. You are not required to carry the shame of what was done to you or the responsibility to fix those who chose to break covenant. Your assignment now is to breathe, to heal, to stand up in the identity I authored for you before the betrayals tried to rename you. There are accusations moving around them, quiet ones at first, then louder as the walls they leaned on begin to crumble. I speak of accountability that arrives wearing ordinary clothes, missed steps, unraveling plans, alliances that feel like sand. Things they boasted about now require explanations they do not have. The room that once applauded them will begin to ask for receipts, and not the kind that can be forged with performance. Their story bends back on itself, and what they thought would keep you blind has become the very sign that opens eyes. Your role is not to shout, your role is to witness. Your possibility is not trapped in the verdict given to them, your future is tied to the truth I am planting in you. I will not let you be defined by a chapter written by someone who refused to finish their own growth. I am rewriting the room where you were mocked for being faithful. I am reordering the timeline where you were told you were too much or not enough. The accusation that now sits over them is the mirror image of the accusation that hovered over you when they retold your story without your consent. They called you naive and called themselves bold. They called you clinging and called themselves free. But all the while you were faithful, and all the while they were rehearsing a play that ends in an empty auditorium. I am calling time on that performance. The lights are turning on. The audience is seeing the stage hands before the curtain falls. Let the truth be gentle in your heart, let it be strong in your boundaries, let it be quiet on your tongue and clear in your steps. Do you remember the way you loved with both hands? The way you shared, not because it was demanded, but because generosity was your nature? Hold that memory without bitterness. What you gave was holy because you gave it from a heart that believed in goodness. You will not lose that light. I will teach you to keep your tenderness without losing your discernment. I will teach you to bless new doors without bending to old patterns. I will teach you how to be hoping and wise at the same time. You will not swing between cynicism and gullibility, you will stand in wisdom and still dare to love. The wound has tried to make a home inside your identity, but I am pouring oil into the fibers of your being and softening the scar until it becomes a testimony rather than a trigger. There is a timeline shifting even now. Watch how your name is carried differently in rooms you do not see yet. Watch how people who were neutral begin to show you kindness without asking for anything in return. Watch how opportunities that should have closed are held open like a door cupped in the hand of a faithful friend. I am that friend, and I am arranging what your tears watered. The season of proving yourself to those determined not to see you is over. The season of proving me in your life has begun. I am not asking you to perform, I am asking you to agree. Agree with my assessment of you, which is not a grade but a calling. You are not the mistake others used to justify their own. You are not the emptiness they tried to fill with applause. You are my beloved, and I plant you where fruit can grow. About those two, I am not sending you to chase their confession. I am not sending you to negotiate with shadows. I am causing the structure of their alliance to answer for itself. What was built on secrecy must answer to daylight. What was stitched out of flattery must answer to silence. What was fueled by comparison must answer to the truth that comparison cannot feed a soul for long. They are accused by the weight of their choices, and that weight calls them to a fork in the road, repentance or repetition. Whether they turn or not is not your burden to carry. I release you from the courtroom in your mind where you replay what justice should look like. Justice, in your life, will look like peace returning to your chest without permission. It will look like mornings where your first breath is not a battle. It will look like a calendar that fills with worthy things. It will look like a love that does not make you smaller. It will look like sleep that is not negotiated with the ache of old apologies that never came. I also speak to the part of you that wonders if you could have prevented any of this by being different, louder, softer, more forgiving, more stern, more something. Release the narrative that keeps you captive to hypothetical versions of yourself. The one you would have needed to become to prevent their betrayal is not the one I created. You were not designed to be a warden over another person's integrity. You were made to be whole in me. Integrity is born from choice, not from your contortions. You did not fail, you were faithful. The difference matters, and it will matter more as you rise into new rooms where your story becomes light for others. I will also whisper this: I am not finished with redemption. Even when consequences fall, I am near to any who call on me with a broken heart. If they turn, I will meet them; if they refuse, I will not force them. As for you, turning looks like choosing life where despair tried to bind you. Turning looks like letting me be the one who holds the narrative and edits the ending. Turning looks like forgiving, not to pretend it didn't happen, but to unclasp your hands from the blade that cut you. Forgiveness is not foolishness. Forgiveness is a door I give you so you can leave a burning house without smelling like smoke forever. You can forgive and still never return to the scene of your undoing. You can forgive and still insist on the safety that honors your healing. I bless your boundaries. I sanctify your no. I strengthen your spine and soften your voice so it carries power without violence. I am restoring to you the ability to recognize safe eyes. I am restoring to you the rhythm of joyful work. I am restoring to you the pleasure of ordinary days that do not hide explosions. I am restoring to you laughter that is not a mask. I am restoring to you conversation that does not require decoding. I am restoring to you the sense that your life is not late. It is right on time, because time belongs to me, and you belong to me inside time. Nothing was stolen that I cannot replace with something textured with wisdom and perfumed with peace. Nothing was delayed that I cannot accelerate with a single whisper. Nothing was broken that I cannot mend with a seam so skillful that only gratitude will show where the tear once was. You will notice unusual help. A stranger who goes out of their way. A door that was locked suddenly opens when you touch it kindly. A message that arrives at the very moment you thought you were alone. These are not accidents, they are my fingerprints. I am scripting a series of small rescues that add up to a beautiful deliverance. Your heart will learn to trust me again, not because I demand it, but because I make trust a shelter in which you can breathe again. There will be days when memory stings. On those days, call my name and I will settle your spirit like a hand on your shoulder that says, I am here. There will be nights when silence feels loud. In those nights, I will hum peace into the air around you until your pulse remembers the gentleness of being safe. The accusations that surround them are not trophies for you to hold. They are signposts that you are free to move forward. Let them be handled by time, truth, and me. You are called to build. Build new routines, build new friendships, build new trust, build the projects that waited for your courage to return. I bless the work of your hands. I bless the ideas you have been timid to try. I bless the collaborations that honor your heart. I bless the learning that stretches you without mocking you. I bless the discipline that makes your life a garden instead of a storage room. I bless your home to be a refuge again. I bless the corners where grief sat to become corners where creativity blooms. I bless your table to hold good conversations and gentle laughter. I bless your mirror to tell the truth about beauty that does not beg for validation. When the memory of their faces arrives uninvited, do not rehearse arguments. Release them to me by name and then speak your own name with kindness. Call yourself into the present. Call yourself beloved. Place your hand over your heart and say, we are safe, we are loved, we are allowed to heal. With every repetition, you train your nervous system to trust what your spirit already knows, I am with you. With every repetition, you subtract fear from your bloodstream. With every repetition, you reclaim rooms they tried to occupy in your mind. I will make it so that even the scents and songs that once triggered pain become notes in a new composition where gratitude leads. There will be a moment, sooner than you think, when you hear about another consequence they face and you feel no thrill, only a quiet release. That will be a sign that the chain is broken. There will be a moment when a new person looks at you with soft honesty and you do not flinch. That will be a sign that love has been made new. There will be a moment when you revisit a place that once felt haunted and you smile without forcing it. That will be a sign that the past lost its teeth. I am faithful to bring you to these moments. Walk with me, we will not sprint, we will not stall, we will walk, and the ground beneath your feet will testify that the maker of the path is also the healer of the traveler. Now hear this and let it settle, you are not late to joy. You are not disqualified from love. You are not forever tied to a story where betrayal is the headline. The headline has changed. The headline is Beloved Rises. The headline is Truth Holds. The headline is Peace Returns. I write these lines over your life with a steady hand. I do not fear the news that circulates around others, I do not fret over their spinning words. I am not asking you to monitor the courts of their reputation or the corridors of their excuses. I am asking you to come outside into the clear air where I am giving you back your own name and your own steps. What you will see next is not a spectacle of their downfall but a quiet blossoming in you that cannot be faked. Those who knew you will notice that you beam from a place deeper than approval. Those who doubted you will be disarmed by the lack of bitterness in your eyes. Those who tried to compete with you will find there is nothing to compete with because you are not playing the same game. Your game is called wholeness, and in it there are no losers. I will give you language to say no without apology and yes without fear. I will give you timing that looks like miracles written in ordinary ink. I will give you friendships where honesty is easy and kindness is the default. I will give you rest that teaches your body to stop bracing for impact. I am inviting you to close the door that led to the room where you were constantly explaining your worth. Walk with me into the house I built for you, where your worth is the foundation, not a debate. In this house there are windows that face the future and a roof that laughs at storms. In this house, you will eat the fruit of your patience. In this house, your discernment will sit as a gentle guard by the gate. In this house, your creativity will run down the hallway like a child finally allowed to play. In this house, your memory will sit by the fire and tell the truth without venom. In this house, your love will be big and wise, not small and terrified. This is my promise and my pleasure, to make home in you and for you. As for the ones who are accused, I have placed a mirror in their path. If they dare to look, they will see the cost written in their own handwriting. If they turn toward truth, mercy is already within reach. If they refuse, then the momentum of their choices will carry them to a place where only surrender can stop the slide. Your hands are not needed on that steering wheel. Release it. Pray as you are led, but do not pick up the burden again. I carry you, and I can carry them if they choose it. You are free to live. You are free to flourish. You are free to meet the morning without rehearsing a defense. I bless your next conversation to be honorable. I bless your next step to be clear. I bless your next decision to be sturdy. I bless the air around you to be light. I bless the room you sleep in to receive rest like rain. I bless the work of your mind to be bright. I bless the work of your hands to be fruitful. I bless your heart to be guarded and generous in the same breath. I bless your eyes to see opportunities that honor your values. I bless your ears to hear my whispers even in busy streets. I bless your voice to carry both truth and tenderness without contradiction. I bless your days to unfold in rhythms that serve your healing. I bless your nights to close gently and open into mornings that do not hurt. This is not a promise written in fog. This is my word, steady and certain. Walk in it. When your mind reaches for the old courtroom, return here. When your chest tightens with the memory of their confidence and your humiliation, return here. When you are tempted to scroll through shadows and tally their outcomes, return here. Here is the place where I hold your story in my hands and call it beautiful for surviving, call it wise for learning, call it brave for loving, call it mine for always. What they planned for your diminishment has become the soil of your rising. What they hid has become your evidence of deliverance. What accused them has released you. Go forward. I am with you, and I am not letting go. I am the one who saw you when the door closed and the world pretended not to hear the sound, and I am the one who kept your heart beating when silence tried to convince you that you had been erased. You are not erased. You are written in the lines of my palm, carved into the marrow of the morning, preserved in the hush before sunrise. Hear me now and do not harden your heart, do not swallow your tears like stones, breathe them out and let them fall, because I have counted each one and I have assigned purpose to every drop. This message is for you, and I am speaking gently and with fire, because sometimes a whisper scorches more than a storm. You have survived a storm that tried to rename you. You have survived a story that tried to cast you as the broken one while they applauded themselves as authors. I will not allow their version to be the final draft. I am God, I do not co-sign lies. I do not endorse betrayal dressed in perfume and practiced smiles. I do not rubber stamp the signatures forged against a faithful soul. I watched, I recorded, and I held back judgment while I built a way out for you that no hand could intercept. I know the hour your heart went quiet though your mouth kept moving. I know the evening when your shadow felt heavier than your body, when the room looked familiar but felt rented, when your name tasted like dust in your own mouth. They said you were replaceable. They said you were naive. They said you would never know. They believed secrecy could fence my sight and keep me out of the field where they sowed whispers. They did not know that I am Lord of the unspoken. They did not understand that I hear the conversations people have with themselves when they think they have hidden even from their conscience. You were faithful when the crowd changed seasons without warning. You were loyal when loyalty had gone out of style. You did not always choose perfectly, but you chose love, and that is why I will not let love be the punchline of your life. I saw the person who walked away from you, the one who let their hunger be baited by the applause of an audience that cannot clap without cost. I saw the other woman who smiled like a lock picking a door. I did not sleep through the moment they exchanged vows with deception and pledged themselves to the temporary intoxication of being wanted by anyone who is willing to want them. I kept the ledger. I kept the tape. I kept the proof that can never be edited by memory. And hear me clearly, the truth you were not meant to hear has ripened. The fruit they hid has swollen and hangs too heavy for the branch that pretends innocence. The weight of what they did is drawing the branch down to the light, and I am the light. Both of them are accused. Not by rumor, not by jealousy, not by the chorus of those who wished to see them fall, by the evidence of their own hearts set against the standard of truth. And I am truth. Do not mistake this message for revenge dressed as righteousness. I am not teaching you how to hate elegantly. I am teaching you how to stand when vindication arrives without your fingerprints on the package. You will not need to craft speeches or rehearse satisfaction. You will not need to raise your voice into a trumpet. Mercy will speak for you, and justice will speak beside mercy, and together they will say what I have written since the night you almost gave up. You were never the liar, you were never the thief, you were never the parasite they named you to excuse their own appetite. You were wounded, not wicked. You were hopeful, not foolish. You were chosen, not abandoned. I am assigning angels to escort you through the corridor where shame once dragged you. I am turning your corridor into a gallery. On the walls I hang the moments you kept kindness alive when cruelty was cheaper. On the walls I hang the days you honored me in private when public honor was unavailable. On the walls I hang the hours you said, I trust you, while everything argued against me. Walk this corridor with your head lifted. You are not what happened to you. This is a holy moment, and I am asking you not to skip it, not to sprint past it because your heart is trained to rush. I know you, beloved. I know the reflex that says, if joy comes, grab it and run before someone steals it. I know the muscle memory that tries to laugh loudly enough to drown the echo of abandoned rooms. But I am God, and I am not an echo, I am the original sound. Sit with me and hear this. I am restoring you in the same space where they rehearsed your disappearance. I am providing in the same area where scarcity was staged to scare you into silence. They wanted your lips quiet because your testimony would collapse their theater. They wanted you uninformed so you would mistake a trick for truth. They wanted you to imagine that the only way to breathe was to borrow air from them. But I fashioned your lungs before your first cry. I will blow breath on you again, and this time no one will invoice you for oxygen. The accusations against them are not to feed gossip, they are to free you from the idea that what you suffered was a fair price for love. Love is not paid for with the currency of humiliation. Love is not fed with the bread of lies. Love does not require you to disappear to keep someone else visible. I am love. And because I am love, I will not give your future to the hands that squandered your yesterday. The scales are recalibrating. The measures are reset. What they took, they will not keep. What they thought would imprison you has become the broken lock that proves you were restrained unlawfully. I am issuing the papers of release. Step out.